All right, next question. What extracurricular activities do you recommend that pre-meds pursue before applying to med school? And how did you go about developing your own narrative? Ida, would you like to comment on this?
Sure. So there were a few extracurricular activities I participated in, but I think the most meaningful for me was being a teaching assistant, and I was a teaching assistant for two courses, Intro to Bio and Molecular Cellular Biology. And part of my responsibilities were I was supposed to lead a weekly 50-minute workshop in front of like 40 students. And I was also in charge of grading and stuff, but I think that workshop really taught me how to public speak in the sense of like I would have to illustrate cellular processes on a whiteboard. So it was a second pass of the material, which was important to me. And I was able to sort of, teach in a way and kind of look at the material from another perspective. And then another plus from that experience was that I was allowed to kind of get close to my professor and really get to know her on a one-on-one basis. And she wrote me a really good recommendation letter because she was able to get to know me better as well. And so I thought that was the most meaningful extracurricular I participated in.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely teaching makes you learn a lot more than just sitting in a lecture hall. So if anyone has the opportunity to be a teaching assistant, it's definitely worth it. Zara, would you like to go next?
Yeah, thanks, Yumna. I also was a teaching assistant as well. And all throughout undergrad, I made sure that all of the extracurricular opportunities that I participated in, I was passionate about. It's not worth it if you are doing things in undergrad that you don't love and that you care about. So that's really advice I want to give to pre-meds is care about things and do things that you're passionate about, because what's the point? And so being a teaching assistant was great because, we all love science and medicine. And that was a great way to develop teaching skills, practice your public speaking, also learn how to explain concepts, also lead a group of students that are your peers, and also connect with people. And also, I was able to connect with a professor that eventually wrote me a letter of recommendation. So it's important to participate in extracurriculars in which you'll get a lot of return back when you apply to medical school. So I also was a student ambassador for my school. I went to UT Dallas, and that was a great way that I was able to connect with students all over my campus, not just in the biology department, in all departments at UTD. And that is what was most important for me, is I wanted to show that I was engaged in my community. I care about my community. So definitely participating in extracurriculars that show that you're a leader in your community and that you're actively doing things in your community to be a part of it is important. So those are two things that I did. Also, I was an EMT in undergrad, and that was a great experience as well. It gives you great opportunities to have patient contact. You also learn a fairly decent amount of basic medicine, and that was really encouraging and definitely propelled me to pick medicine. So definitely do things that will help you grow as an individual, but also will grow your passion for science and medicine as a whole.
All right, that was a great answer. Thank you. Dr. Huck, would you like to comment on this as well?
Yeah, so I think just going on along about having passion for what you're doing is really important. I think a lot of people like just pick up random extracurricular activities and just a bunch of them and pile them up, and then they kind of like after 3 years they wonder like what's my narrative when they apply to med school. But I think it's actually better to go in the opposite direction. First, find your profile, like find what exactly excites you, and then actually pick your activities based on that. I remember like when I was applying to med school back in the day, like one of the California programs, one of their secondary essays gave you a choice of like 5 or 10 different options about a certain profile, like a health administrator, public health, primary care, and a few other options. And it basically asks you to pick one of these tracks and just talk about how you actually like exhibit the qualities of that person. So I think having a good sense of what you're actually passionate about, whether it's clinical research or basic sciences or whatever else it might be, and then actually picking your activities based on that will actually help you have a really solid profile when you're applying to med school. For me personally, I had a lot of interest in economics and business and things like that. So I did like Model United Nations at UT Dallas, where we went to different like cities and did some mock like Model UN sessions. I did some bioethics research in the Center of Humanities. So a lot of things like related to things that maybe the typical pre-health wouldn't do, but a lot of those things I think were valuable and they came up during my interviews for med school.
All right, great. Thank you.
If I may emphasize something that Waqas has said,
Mhm.
a lot of medical schools are looking at students who are doing something different as well. So exactly what he pointed out, you don't, everybody does not have to do basic science research if that's not their calling, right? Do what you want to do and make sense of it when you're applying for medical school and see if you can relate to it.
So let me ask something also. So I always thought like whenever you are entering into the medical college and you're having an interview and they will ask the first question probably they're gonna ask you is why you want to become a doctor. So I think, and the most common answer is basically I want to help the kind of the suffering humanity or the poor human beings. Uh, and then they will ask you so exactly what you have done so far to achieve that goal. So I thought one of the extracurricular activity maybe that do some kind of a charity work also, maybe helping the homeless, bringing food to them, and get involved with some charity work also, so you can show that you have this kind of personality and you have done these kind of things before, so you can kind of back your answer with some evidence from your past. So I don't know whether this is something which I think probably may be a good thing to do.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely shows your commitment to helping your community. So, and there's always need in those areas. So, definitely a great opportunity to pursue.